Hi there, and welcome to Entrepreneurship 101. Today, we're going to be talking about social entrepreneurs, who they are, and what role they play in society. So, social entrepreneurship combines the passion that often comes with a social mission with the business like discipline, determination, and innovation that's commonly associated with successful startups. Social entrepreneurs are very important to our world today. They're important because many of the conventional philanthropic and governmental efforts to solve issues that affect us have been deemed ineffective. Social entrepreneurs tend to view issues differently than a normal nonprofit might, and in doing so, oftentimes come up with unique solutions to problems that affect all of us. So let's talk a little bit more about social entrepreneurs. What makes them special is the role they play as change agents in the social sector, and they do this by hitting upon these key points. They adopt a mission to create and sustain social value, not just private value. They recognize and relentlessly pursue new opportunities to serve that mission. They engage in a process of continuous innovation, adaptation, and learning. They act boldly without being limited by resources currently in hand. And they exhibit heightened accountability to the constituents served and for the outcomes created. So, in some ways, social entrepreneurship is a really beautiful synthesis between the idea of doing good for the larger community, but also having the same mindset that leads companies themselves to be successful. But with this said, social entrepreneurs are very often put in a very tough situation because in reality, the normal markets, business markets, don't fit and don't line up always exactly and perfectly well with the intentions of social entrepreneurs. And so in Gregory D's article, he discusses this in a little more detail. He says that that markets do not work as well for social entrepreneurs as they would for, let's say, normal entrepreneurs. And why is this? This is so because markets do not do a good job of valuing social improvements. So improvements on public goods and harms and benefits for people who cannot afford to pay. These elements are often essential to social entrepreneurship. As a result, it is much harder to determine whether a social entrepreneur is creating sufficient social value to justify the resources he used in creating that value. So this is a pivotal issue that many social entrepreneurs run into. They're not great indicators of the success of a social entrepreneur. How do you quantify the social good that is being done by a product or service? It's a little more challenging than quantifying, profit or margin or these other variables that we've grown used to within entrepreneurship and the business world as a whole. But really what it comes down to is social entrepreneurs have an ability to act boldly without being limited by resources currently in hand. And this is something that in today's day and age, it's definitely a growing industry and something that a lot of people are getting interested in because entrepreneurship, in terms as I mentioned in these previous episodes, has a particular journey and a particular process. And this process that for some people is very exciting and they're drawn to. And the idea that you could combine that process with the idea of making the world a better place in some way or fashion is very intriguing to a lot of people. At the end of the day, social entrepreneurs are driven by mission over profit. Now, this is not to say that profit and running a business in the same ways that a normal entrepreneur would need to be completely different. The best social entrepreneurs are still treat their mission, right, with the same attitude in which any other company would treat their mission. But the difference is profit is not the leading force behind their actions and behind their vision moving forward. And this is a pivotal difference between a normal entrepreneur. For a normal entrepreneur, mission, right, might play a critical role in the founding of their company and of their startup, but is not necessarily the driving force behind why they're doing what they're doing. With the social entrepreneur, it is the primary driving force, fulfilling the mission that will better their community, their local community, or the world on a larger, grander stage, that's what drives them, not the profit, not the margin. And so social entrepreneurship is a really exciting field and something that, as I mentioned earlier, the world really needs more of, because the way social entrepreneurs view problems is unique, and it offers solutions that many other organizations aren't able to come up with, because they don't treat problems with the same type of entrepreneurial perspective as social entrepreneurs would. So that's all for this episode. Thanks for listening in, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.